Episode 13, tea with me. We've got a lavender, chamomile, and rose puka tea today, so I'm not going to take a sip until it's cooled down a little bit, but nice to be trying something different. I think the lavender and chamomile is very calming. I think it's called the love tea, which is hilarious. So, yeah, thought I'd try something different today. I've been thinking a lot about signs. Stay with me. One of my favorite Steve Jobs quotes has always been, you can't connect the dots looking forwards, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. And in the last couple of days, a few things have pieced together, but it's just, there's a couple of conversations I've had recently, one with a friend, Jake, shout out to Jake. But it made me laugh. I think we've been in touch over the last 2-3 years almost now as creators. We met online, we've become really close friends. One of the few people one of the many people that I've become very good friends with online that I've never met in person, and it's on my list of people to go and squeeze and pinch in person. Same as my clients. I'm very excited. I think one of my other clients I might see later in the year. We're doing our mountain trip in Peru this year. So any of you that don't know yet, me and my husband, we do annual 10-day mountain trip hikes in the mountains somewhere with friends of ours. Last year we did Altavia 2 in the Dolomites, and then the year before that we were supposed to do Altavia 1. Unfortunately, my father passed away in the summer and we didn't make the trip. But the 2 years before that, we explored the Austrian Alps. That first trip that we went back on absolutely broke my brain open. And I'm so grateful. But again, it's that there's this weird thing that happens, I feel, when you're in the content creator life and you are documenting your story and picking apart your journey, because it's always interesting to see what you remember looking back, but the way that you can kind of see how the steps have brought you to where you are is also quite illuminating. And I was having a rant for one of my little IG reels about signs. And again, back to Jake. He was talking the other day, he was saying he'd had a bit of a shitty week, and then he said a couple of things, and I just had to stop him for a second. I was like, dude. I was like, didn't you, 3 weeks ago, ask for this, and this? And haven't what you just described kind of matched this, and this that you've been looking for in signs? And I just had this brilliant visual of, those things in those movies where the character is kind of like, I need a sign. And the angels in the universe are like, here's a sign. And the character's like, not that sign. I need another sign. And it's just the universe is throwing everything at you to try and make it so obvious to push you. Or I picture it like those guardrails in 10-pin bowling, right? That kind of keep you on track. We might not get a strike every time, but at least it'll knock down some pins if you can make it down to the end and not just end up in the gutter. And I just find it very funny, especially, I think it's really been the last 2 years that I feel like my connection to spirit, to the universe, to the signs, to manifesting, to all of that have really, I guess, honed would probably be a better word, but it was when Dad died, really, and he crossed over and I had that connection. And what happened in terms of him giving me signs, him being on my mind, what I was aware of and what perspective I was aware of. Now looking back at my story, I realize where a lot of my injuries and sicknesses and, the shitty days and the plot twists that you think, what the fuck is that? They've all kept me on some sort of course and got me to here. And I think the injuries and the sickness are a sneaky one. This is what I was talking about upstairs. During the time while I was running Core Media, the agency that I was building with my old business partner, I remember when I was in it and when we were just in that Groundhog Day of stress and anxiety and clients and work, and it literally felt like up, anxious, into work. No, like there was no time to breathe. You had your hour lunch break, back in the office, 6 p.m., done, off. I had a massive hour-and-a-half commute home, which in Hong Kong is ludicrous for anybody, ask anybody. Other places, not so much. And then what? You get like an hour or two in the evening, and then it's bed, right? And fitting in fitness or training, like it's all, the time's then gone, and you're just in this constant moving phase of always doing something and never in a position to actually stop and have those periods of quiet where your brain is allowed to just do its thing and ruminate and pull together all the stuff that it's been picking up that you're not even aware that it's picking up. But because you're also so tunnel focused, you're not aware of a lot of the opportunities and a lot of the hello, pick me signs that the universe is putting out to you that you're quietly asking for while you're in it and while you're stuck. But because you've still got your head down and your blinkers on, you're not giving yourself even enough time to kind of peek up every so often and see if the sign is there. And like I said, being in that period where the agency was feeling like it was sucking the soul out of me and sucking the life out of me, and I just had it in my head that I just had to keep pushing. Like, and that I was just being a wuss. And that you just have to put your big girl pants on and just keep pushing and just keep going and just put your head down and just do it for X amount of years. And there was this fucking alarm like right in the center of my chest and right in my stomach that was kind of like, hang on a minute, this isn't it. But I'd shut it off and I just kept doing and going. And then there was no space to have that time to actually listen to what my body was saying. And so a way that my body communicated to me in terms of if I had a brilliant idea that the universe was like, oh, maybe we should not do this one, Maya. And it's like, I think let's not. More often than not, I would get injured. Yeah, makes me laugh. Makes me laugh when you look back. And it was always those times where I felt like I needed to breathe or things were getting too stressed at the agency that then I would get sick. And I was saying upstairs, it's funny that in society, sickness is one of the few socially acceptable times for people to go offline, to not respond, to not do anything. We won't do that for ourselves at any given point. But if we are sick, we will. And unfortunately, I don't know about you, but I'm a very bad sick person. As soon as I get sick, I'm like, I feel like I should be able to do twice as much as I can normally do in a normal given day, and I feel like ass. And like I had this visceral response to resting. I didn't feel like I was allowed to rest. And it's funny coming in full circle, like the three big words that I've always had at the top of my newsletter banner, and I put up on my Twitter page 5 years ago when I opened my account after going through Danco's digital economic stuff, was mind, movement, media. Those three words jolted straight into my head the second I was trying to figure out banners and all that sort of stuff. And on the newsletter banner, it's, I think Twitter banner now as well, it's mountains. I got a beautiful AI image generation from after having done our mountain trip then. That was the first year. Oh my gosh, that was the first year that we did the mountain trips. Yeah, so the graphic evolved from just being a black plain text, mind, movement, media on the back, similar to how Dan's got create, to then being these mountain pictures with mind, movement, media written underneath. And to me, I feel like those are the three mountains that everybody has to tackle and climb in their lifetimes. Mind, your mental health, your awareness, your mastery of your own emotions, your own brain, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own desires, your own wants, your own impulses, which ones are fueling you, which ones are draining you, which ones are hurting you, which ones are saving you. Learning to be a parent to ourselves is one of the hardest things to do because we are very sneaky with the boundaries that we like to cross. And when we are the only ones that are holding ourselves accountable, it is very easy for that finish line to be pushed away and for tomorrow to be the day that we deal with it. And tomorrow never comes, unfortunately, if you keep pushing it. I can't remember how long ago now it was. There was one creator I was listening to that had this brilliant analogy of like kicking the cans down the road. And it's like something comes up and you just kick the can down the road. and you kick it real hard and it ends up down there. And then another can comes in front of you and you kick it hard and it ends up there. And then as you start walking, you start catching up with the other cans that you've been kicking down the road. And eventually you're kicking so many cans down the road that you can't keep up. And that you end up in front of this wall of cans that you've kicked so far down that it's got to the point where now it's going to confront you. And so instead of living in a consistent pattern of feeling like you're just kicking cans down the road, it's like I found it a very good visual to just start looking at what are we kicking out of the way and what are we removing, so that it is no longer a can that we are kicking down. And if we are aware enough of some of the cans that keep showing up and what's going on in our bodies, then we need to, sort them out. Because eventually they like to pile up all in one go, and then they rock up on a day that is not very convenient. Ever. Ever. The world works in mysterious ways. But the mind, your mental health, your brain, your capacity, your visions, your visuals, your ability to observe, to notice, to become aware of your loops, of your cycles, in order to see what do you need help with, not just this reactive, oh, something's gone bad, now I need help right now, and I'm going to take anybody, even if it's the crappiest person ever, that's going to help me, and then it's only going to make it worse. Like, you then start new vicious cycles that become even harder to get out sometimes when you're in that knee-jerk reaction place without having identified maybe even a few layers deeper as to what might be causing a lot of it. I think that's where one of those, the 80-20 rule comes into play in reverse almost, where 20% of the things that you are doing are causing 80% of the chaos in your life. So it's like, what is the key that you are turning? What are the things, like, instead of dealing with all these little ailments that are popping up on the front lines one at a time, what is the root that can kind of get rid of 5, 10, chunk them off at the same time? Because a lot of the time, the key lies with the fundamentals. Not a lot of the time, it always does. Stupid fundamentals. It's actually very nice. So mind was the first one. Movement was the second one. So that's your physical health, your physical body. Because again, you got 99 problems until your health ain't one. And then you got one problem. And that I experienced very viscerally back in 2015 when I slipped a disc in my spine over lunch and lost my income in an afternoon and couldn't walk and couldn't actually build an income. Well, no, that's a lie, because I did. I had my artwork to fall back on, and I'm very, what's it like, MacGyver-esque? When shit hits the fan, we get going. What is it? What does that say? It's tough. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's always been a phrase that I've loved. It's always been one of those things. Yeah, when shit hits the fan, what are we going to do about it? And get very practical, get very realistic, and get very real about the situation. And again, I don't know if I said this on here or in one of the other videos on the channels that I talk on, but it's like those chess pieces. It's like, bring it back down to a pawn. Pawn can move forward, side, in one direction, one step. And when everything around you looks like it's going crazy, how can you get so quiet and so internal that you find that clarity on the step that's going to get you out of it? I still couldn't believe the true, I guess, power of the manifestations. Like, I find it funny, because even I use the language where it's like, I couldn't believe. But then in the same fucking sentence, I'm like, of course I can believe. Of course I can believe. Like, I'm sorry, you have to almost be an idiot to not believe. And it's tough seeing that then the idiot nation is the majority of society in that sense, because they don't believe. And it made me laugh. Again, idiot nation. It's not the wrong thing to call them. They just don't know. I didn't know. I was, when I look at some of the phases of my life, I'm like, ooh, what were you doing? Like, why? And it makes sense that I didn't get where I wanted to go. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, hang on. my brain's just split off into like 3 different tabs at the same time. So let me just, give me a second, let me pull it all back together. We were on movement, right? So your physical body, moving your body, getting in touch with this, getting strong, getting fit, getting healthy. I just did my little training session on the roof, and at the moment I've got a little bit of a niggle in my knee, so I'm going to go check that out with the doctors tomorrow. And I got a little bit, my thumb is still from when I sprained it just before we did High Rocks, just after we signed up for High Rocks. So that 5 weeks of training was a lot. But training your body, building your muscles, bringing that oxygen into your body and allowing your organs to flow, allowing that to flow. Like I lost the use of my legs. I lost the use of my body. I couldn't walk for a year. Like I couldn't stand up straight without severe pain down both legs. And it was nuts. Even the day that it happened in London, I was trying so hard to like toughen it through and stand up and walk around and do all this crap. And then 2 days later, we flew back to Hong Kong. And when we arrived at Heathrow, it was so sore. And I'd never experienced that kind of pain before, like where it doesn't go away. It didn't go away. It didn't go away. And it didn't go away for 6 years. I didn't know at that time that it was going to take 6 years for the pain to go away. And it was only going to get much worse at a lot of other points along the way. 6 years. Like you don't know what cloud you're entering into and how long it's going to consume you and what's going to happen on the other end. But I knew that the second I sat down in that wheelchair that my sister had to drive me through, push me through on the airport, all I wanted to do was be able to walk again. All I wanted to do. Couldn't believe that happened 3 months after I qualified as a personal trainer. I was like, I am just about, ooh, there's a lizard. It's a very pretty lizard. It's the one with the blue tail. Oh, it just jumped onto the hat. All right, now I'm distracted. I will come back. Squirrel. It's got under my hat, outside on the table. I'll find it later. It's a very pretty lizard. If we don't take care of this, it's not going to get us through the finish line, through what we want to do. I think there's a reason why my current one-to-one clients are all in the fitness industry in some way, or in the health and wellness industry in some way, because it means that they've dedicated themselves to this practice and to the building of their bodies and the growth of their bodies, and they understand the phases and the cycles that it's gone through. They also know, by having been in the industry for long enough, when you get an injury, it's not the end of the world. When you break a bone, it heals. Like even just going through those experiences of what the body is capable of doing. I mean, I have 4 screws in a cage in the base of my spine. They got me up and walking the day after surgery. And the 18 months post-surgery, I swore to myself that I would do all the physio, all the exercises, all the training, all the rest, all the recovery. I would be patient and I would do it. 8 months after surgery, that was when we did our first trip in Austria. We walked 100 kilometers across the Austrian Alps. I was carrying 12 kilos on my backpack, maybe closer to 10, but 10 to 12 kilos on my backpack. 100 kilometers across the Alps. I walked. I was in 6 years of pain. My legs used to go numb when I'd go hiking. My hips would be so sore after a day of hiking before I had surgery because of what was happening at the base of my spine with all the nerves and everything that were being compressed and squished. I hit my front splits 11 months post-surgery. I surfed for the first time like 3 months post-surgery. What else did I do? I ran my first 5K with my sister when I ended up going into the UK post-surgery. I got my back bridge. Spine surgery. You know what? Actually, after I did that 18 months, I got furious with my father. Because he'd had his hips replaced and he'd been a power lifter back in his day. And so he understands certain elements of the training, but he also only ever loved one type of training, and it's very aggressive and it's very heavy and it's very hard on your joints. So he ended up having to have both his hips replaced. But he also didn't move after his surgeries. And so what used to annoy me was that he used to say he'd still be in pain after his hip surgeries. And I'm sitting there post spine surgery going, I can feel pain from the surgery, but the pain, like the nerve pain that I used to be able to feel through my legs, and the numbness and the lack of like circulation and flow, that wasn't there immediately. Like standing up the following day, it was painful moving. But I can't even quite explain the feeling of knowing. It was similar to the feeling when I had laser eye surgery. I got that done in my early 20s. I wore glasses when I was 6 years old all the way through my teenage years. I begged mum for contacts in high school when I was 15, and I found out I needed braces. I was like, please, I'm already getting bullied enough as it is. I can't have glasses and braces at the same time. I can't be that person, please. Got my contacts. Anyway, I was struggling because the work I was doing with the modeling and events, up to in my late teens, early 20s, I used to have to wear a lot of makeup and wear my contacts often. And I started to get nasty little scratch marks on my corneas because I wasn't cleaning my eyes properly, and just the nature of the makeup and everything in my eyes. And I remember my optician saying to me at one point, if you keep using them, like you need to give your eyes a break so that they can recover. But if you keep using them, it'll scratch the front so badly that you might like start lose parts of your vision. And I was like, shit, because I can't wear glasses for the jobs. They don't hire me with the glasses. They hire me without the glasses. And so I got the laser surgery, and I remember it was like 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds after I'd done. I was sat in the waiting room and I had my eyes closed because you've got all the numbing drops in your eyes. And I just blinked my eyes open, and on the other side of the room, I could see already HD, like the name of the DVD player or whatever. Yeah, it was a DVD player that was sat just on one of the shelves across. There was a little TV that was off in front of me, and I blinked my eyes open, and I could see Philips, the logo, and I blinked them open again, and it was clear, and I just having your health, having your body, and doing the things to feed it well, to allow, because again, like we are simple machines, inputs, outputs, same with our body, would crap in, crap out. You know, a lot of skin problems. I used to have really sensitive skin. Well, if you start eating clean, if you start using, clean products, everything starts to clear up. I mean, my skin's actually nicer than it's been in a long time. And I definitely put that down to sweating it out, to having clean products and then clean food. I know as soon as I start having too many snacks, I break out bad. Like all the way down here. All the way down here if I've had too much chocolate. Like our bodies are telling us. They are telling us what we need to do, and we just can ignore them. So that's mind movement. I guess one last little plot twist on the movement thing. Qualified personal trainer. Looks like I might be making a comeback out of retirement for the next 6 months. So watch that space. Watch that space. Watch this space. The last M is media, which to me is your creativity. What are you creating in this world? To me, that is your purpose. What are you building? What are you creating? And it doesn't have to just be one thing either. I think we've been brainwashed into this one thing, and I know my brain fights against it. So if my brain's fighting against it, I know a lot of people are fighting against it as well. And I think a lot of coaches out there like to call it multi-passionate. I think there's multi-passionate, and then there's procrastination by habit. Or no, but not by habit. Procrastination by non-useless skills. Productive procrastination? That's what I meant to say. Productive procrastination. Because I feel like that was a little easy trap that I fell into the last 5 years, where I realized it's like I had to come to the conclusion where it's like, okay, I am passionate about a lot of different things. I can get excited about a lot of different things. Now, what do I want to get excited about right now? And how, as me, as Maja, as the personal brand, do I allow myself, well, this is why I enjoy the personal brand side, because you as a human being, you are multifaceted. You don't have to have just one angle. You can have an anchor if you would like, but within the human facet that you are, you're allowed to talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. And the reason why those three things came into play, because as a personal brand as you as a human being navigating growth and building and creativity and levels as you go through this life, like this, your mental health, your physical body, and what you are creating are the three key components that make up a life. Because I started taking quite good care of myself and my mind, and then realized I had no hobbies and I had nothing I was actually enjoying creating. That's semi a lie. I mean, I was building the agency, which I was very excited to help people with, until I, again, realized it's just not I don't love that environment enough, and I didn't know enough on how to build it that I could build myself out quick enough. Down the line, no, fuck, I'm not doing an agency. I'd rather run a gym than an agency. I'd rather own places. And I think this was the conversation I was having with my husband the other day. I was like, I've seen too many I've walked through too many doors now to know what's possible. And this is a very odd time in the in-between. And it's very easy when you've been going along this journey, something I had to pull myself up on yesterday, and why a few of these plot twists have happened very quickly. It's very easy to sit back into the entitlement road of, well, I've been doing this for so long, so why haven't I got the results? When you actually have to shift it into, well, I've been doing this for so long, why haven't I got the results? Because the universe is not out to get you. Inputs and outputs. It's not a personal attack. If what you are envisioning is not here, a couple of things. One, you may not have just been doing the right stuff for long enough. A lot of the times that's a big, big thing. You just stop too soon. 6 months is not enough. 3 months is not enough. A year is not enough. A few years, not always enough. And again, you get to learn these lessons as fast as you're able to let go. Like, I've known a lot of these lessons for a long time, but it's taken me a long time to embody some of them. Well, not even embody some of them, I guess maybe embody them consistently all the time. Because I think that's as well where it's difficult, where then you bring in maybe like the balance conversation, and it's got to be balanced, it's got to be balanced. And I think balance is the wrong thing. I think we were thrown off track by trying to find balance. Life is not balanced. If a storm comes, that storm is raging until it stops. And it's not always just going to be half a day raining and half a day sunny. I think when you shift things into weather analogies or nature analogies, it becomes quite funny. There was a brilliant Instagram post yesterday that I shared on my story of like life advice from farm animals. And oh my goodness, I did not know I needed to hear that. So if you would like to go and have a look at some life advice from animals, go check out my Instagram account. Should still be on my story. Otherwise, find it. I think I reposted it actually on that side. But yeah, mind movement media. It's very frustrating because it's not difficult. It's not difficult stuff, but it requires us to accept ourselves where we are, shake off our expectations, and consider nothing but the actual reps that we're putting in and go from that. But the science things, man, we are co-creating with something so much bigger than us. I think it's just ludicrous to think that we know more than nature and life and the cosmos. And I also think at some point, like, I've had this discussion before with my husband and some of my friends. It's like the difference between playing life on hard mode versus easy mode. It's like, wouldn't you rather know that your guardian angels and your spirit team would just had your back? Wouldn't you rather co-create with something bigger than yourself so you don't feel alone because you're not? Like, wouldn't you rather think that magic had your back? I know I would. Always have. I still have dreams of superpowers. Yeah, it's probably why I invented sidekicks. It's probably why I call myself a wing woman. It's probably why I work with like Hollywood stunt women. I mean, it still blows my mind to say that. Life is funny, but the signs are there. The universe is there. And if you can see the light on the shitty days, you have a superpower that nobody else has. If you can find the sense of humor, if you can laugh about where you are, stop taking yourself too seriously, and reverse the why me to the hang on a minute, why me? Because if it is me, that means something that I've been doing isn't adding up to equate to what this is that I'm now receiving. So shift it. It was even made even more like in my face. Yesterday we were watching one of the golfers on YouTube that Garth watches. He's a South African golfer, and he was talking about during the game, as he's going through the game, it's very easy to forecast where you think you've hit your next ball and the position that your ball will be in, and what, like, how difficult it might be for the next shot. So you're already in that negative mindset. It's like, oh, I've duffed it in the rough. It's going to get stuck here. It's going to be crap. I'm not going to be able to make it out. And he just had this commentary of his thought patterns on the fact that he has to allow his mind to not preconceive what's about to happen until he sees the reality of the situation in front of him, and then from there makes the best next move and the best next swing. And I think this is where I'm gonna say it. I almost stopped myself from saying it, but I think this is where men and women differentiate very much in terms of the just get on with it. I don't think it's a shut down your intuition and get on with it. I think it's a don't worry about what's happening until we get to that point, and then at that point make the next best move. They are very much able to stay in the present, not allow their past errors to come with them and linger with them, and influence so much of what's coming next. They're also very, very good at dropping it and moving forward and moving from that line of if you know better, do better. And it's not even necessarily about forgiving themselves. I just don't think it doesn't stay stuck. Whereas women, we are very emotional creatures, and we are very emotional beings, and we feel everything, and we feel everything so deeply. And sometimes, I know it's a gift, but it definitely can be a curse, because we like to spend 2 or 3 weeks ruminating on something that's taken a guy 2 minutes to just go and, get over and move on, because he's not allowed it to stay attached to his body. And I'm not saying that, again, you can drop everything, but it's that, how do you release these attachments? How do you release these things that are pulling on any of these feelings of shame, of guilt, of fear, of this, and notice where they're coming from and how long you've been carrying them for and why. Like, why? Today is a new day. It's a fresh start. Move forward. What are we dealing with today? Move forward. And it is hard when we're able to sit in this, like, seat where we can project forward and project back. There was an amazing lady, I think I've mentioned this in one of my other videos. She talks on Instagram. I think she's a psychologist, but she talks about the brain and the I guess the technical implementations of the analogy of where energy go, like where your focus goes, energy flows, and that the system that deals with visions and dreams is the same system that deals with our past and future recollection, which means between dreams and past and future recollections that we're making up versus what actually happened, it's all going down the same thing. So it's on us at any given moment to stop allowing all the crap from all the past that we've just accumulated and have decided to, keep kicking these cans and bringing these cans down with us along the road, and to just kind of let it all go and allow things to be lighter, and allow ourselves to not get so weighed down by things, and to not let it bother us, and to be in that air of, I get to move, I get to choose. And again, I even every so often I have to do this. I have to, when I feel, and it's happened much less now, because again, I think that's when you're moving out of phases. It stops having the same hold on you. Your own inner demons stop having the same hold on you when you're able to breathe through it and not take it so seriously, but also keep, like, I guess I dust it off and I zoom out. It's like worry is sitting on my shoulders. It's like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, right? And that used to be something that everybody used to say about my dad. He used to sit there in quiet with the weight of the world on his shoulders. And it's like, yeah, but he never did anything about moving that weight. He never found friends that could help take it off. He never allowed himself to then get back into the gym to then physically work it out. He got stuck on a bar stool and drank beer and got bigger and heavier. Oh, I love my father. I'm very excited for the day that I do get to see him again. Hopefully, that's not going to be for a while. Unless I have some sort of channeling experience while I'm on this planet. But let's see. Who knows? My ears have been ringing, so let's see what happens in the next few years. Things are unfolding, man. The Earth's changing. More frequencies are hitting at us. More people are realizing that you get to control the aura around you, and you are the catalyst of the aura from inside. So take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your creativity. They are the keys to self-healing, self-love, self-expression, and finding your people and feeling authentic again and being allowed to feel goofy and being allowed to do stupid things and getting in front of camera and putting yourself out there and finding your people and being brave and standing up and going forward and doing the doings and have fun. And have fun. And have fun. And have fun with it all. So yeah, if you've been looking for signs, this is a sign. You've got signs coming for you. You've got angels and guardians looking over you. You've got loved ones on the other side that are keeping an eye out. But you've got loved ones on the other side also turning around going, bitch, get off the sofa and do something. We can't help until you do something. And half the time we're sat here on earth going, well, why won't my angels help me? I don't want to do anything until they help me. And it's like they can't do shit until we get up and move. They're waiting. They're waiting in the wings. They're like, going to do it? She's going to do it today? Nope, she's taking another sofa day. All right, come back tomorrow. We'll come back tomorrow. We're ready when you are. All right, your angels are ready when you are. And if you need calming down, that is actually a really nice tea. Chamomile, lavender, and rose. I think that's it for today. Episode 13. We're doing it. See you guys tomorrow.